Yeah, thank you. So I've prepared like three sets of questions. So the first part is I'm talking about um, academic part, like how did I become an engineer, the introduction part. Then we've got yes or no questions. You have to answer me yes or no.
Yep.
And then the third part is a bit like, weird and cliche questions.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. So for the introduction part, let me just open the questions and we will start.
Okay.
So at the very beginning, wait a second. Yeah, so let me introduce myself. I'm
Yep.
Sherzad Ajbayev. I've graduated from Nur Afshan Presidential School, and my major is mechanical engineer. So my future is aspiring mechanical engineer. So in the future, I want to study mechanical engineer. I haven't decided which university I'm going to study at, but I'm going to apply next year. So from this time, I'm 18. I'm going to be 18 years old in 2 weeks. So uh, hopefully I will be. Yeah. So
Happy early
and
birthday.
yeah, thank you. So now let's introduce yourself. Can you please introduce yourself and talk about yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Abood. I'm a mechanical engineer. I graduated around a year and a half ago. I'm from Canada. I studied in Canada, specifically McMaster University. I did a 4-year engineering program where I studied mechanical engineering. I specialized in design, and I did 1 year of co-op, so it was a 5-year program for me. I worked straight out of university. I also worked in co-op. I worked as a mechanical engineer, design engineer, and project coordinator.
Great, wonderful. So let's talk about the career. How did you become an engineer? So what inspired you to pursue a career in mechanical engineering, and what keeps you passionate about the field?
When I was a kid, all the toys that I had, I used to take them apart, open them, try to find out how the mechanisms are working. I used to try making things out of popsicle sticks, try making things out of paper. So I knew engineering is my passion. I just didn't know which type of engineering. So the first year of university, I went into general engineering. I was exploring all the courses, seeing what I enjoy most, from chemistry to material science, 3D printing, design, programming with Python, explored all of that. At the end, I realized that designing and 3D printing and creating the engineering drawings, which is exactly mechanical, that's where my passion lies. So I joined mechanical engineering, and best decision I've ever made in my life.
Wonderful. And how do you see the future of mechanical engineering?
The future of mechanical engineering, I see it definitely evolving. I think with the AI and all these things that are coming up and technology moving us forward, I think we'll have a lot of demand in manufacturing. Manufacturing, whether it's robots or things that are going to help us move further into society or create electric cars or create things that automate our life and make our life easier. So I see a lot of opportunities in manufacturing and mechanical.
Yeah, so the intriguing question, what do you think? Will AI overtake your job in the future?
Absolutely not. A mechanical engineer operates the machines, designs the machines, makes the mechanisms, implements them, and repairs them. So I don't see a way where AI could do that. We are the ones that are building the machines and the systems that are running. So we are the one that maintain them. I don't see a way where AI is able to maintain itself, for example. I might be a visionary, like maybe looking into 30, 60 years into the future. Maybe we're looking 500 years into the future where AI is able to maintain and design for itself and think for itself, maybe. But that's the far future where I won't even be alive.
Wonderful. So how it feels to be a mechanical engineer? What do you feel like? What emotions do you feel?
While you're a mechanical engineering student, it's very hard. It can be demotivating. At times, it can be very motivating. Sometimes you're going to get an A plus. Sometimes you're going to get a D. Sometimes you're going to fail a midterm. Sometimes you're going to pass a midterm. It's very difficult. It's very hard, but absolutely anyone can get through it. Anyone. When I mean I can get through it, it's a bunch of problem solving. If you put into the time in it and the effort, there is no person that's not made for engineering. There is no person it's too hard for you. There's no such thing. Put in the time, put in the effort. It is hard, but you'll get through it. Everybody gets through it. And the best
Wonderful.
moment of your life will be when you graduate. And for us in Canada, for example, we get the engineering ring, or when you get your degree. That is the best moment in your life. After 6 years of work, you're going to receive the degree that you've been working for.
Wonderful. And like scrolling through social media, I see a lot of people posting that I got 17 out of 100 and I'm very happy about it. Is it true, like during the university studies, is it actually like really difficult to pass the exams?
It's extremely difficult from high school, to tell you the least. For example, in high school, I had an average of 94.6, something very high. I had 98 in math, 97 in English, stuff like that. I went to university, straight up, I had 45%, 65%, 63%. Average dropped by 30% at least in every course. When you're going to a competitive university that's teaching you accredited version of engineering, it's very difficult, but you can pass. The first year, your only job is to learn how to study and learn what's your best way of learning, because it's not the same as high school. In high school, they give you the homework, they check the homework, they chase you around, they tell you what to do. In university, it's you versus yourself. You're competing with yourself. It's your discipline. Nobody's going to check your homework. You come at the end of the year, you have a 70% exam. That's up to you. You don't have homework that's everyone checked and the teacher tells you do this, do that, do this, do that. It's you're your own coach.
Wonderful. Thank you for the answer. So, what are the most important skills and knowledge areas that aspiring mechanical engineers should focus on developing during their studies?
So I would say skills and important aspects of mechanical engineering is to have creativity, think out the box, and be passionate for what you do. Don't become a mechanical engineer or an engineer at all if you're not passionate for it. If you don't love this job, if you're not willing to do it absolutely for free, don't do this. Do it if you're actually passionate about it, if you love what you do, because you're going to be doing this for the next 40, 50 years. If you don't love it, you're going to be miserable. Do something that you love and be creative. You don't have to always stick to the book. Stick to the book when it comes to safety, when it comes to standards. But when it comes to your ideas, don't limit yourself to what your professors tell you. Think outside the box. That might take you a lot further than where you're supposed to be. I'm a mechanical engineer that's posting TikToks. This is not conventional, but yeah.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful answer. So the next question, what do you think are the biggest challenges and opportunities in the field of mechanical engineering today?
I think it's very saturated. There's a lot of mechanical engineers out there. Every single year, around 200 to 400 mechanical engineers are graduating from each university. For example, I can speak on Canada and America sort of thing. So these new graduates are graduating and looking for jobs. They're just as qualified. They're just as smart as everyone else. There are people smarter than me. There are people that are the same level as me. We're all applying for the same jobs. It's very competitive. You need to stand out to the employers. You need to stand out to the people and the companies you're applying for. Have personal projects. Buy an Arduino board from Amazon or somewhere, make a project so that in the interview, you can talk about these things where others are just going to talk about themselves. You have something physical to show them and talk about.
Wonderful. And what are the qualities needed in order to stand out during the interview process or during the application process?
I think having personal projects and speaking very confidently. Speak very confidently of yourself. It's like, not only are they qualifying you for the job, you're also qualifying them. You have to look at yourself as you are worthy of that job, and they might not qualify for the position you're applying for. You have to have high standards for them too, and ask them very hard questions. I found the best strategy for me to impress interviewers is to ask them as hard of a question that they're asking me. Not how is the company environment, what's the values. I ask them questions that they will pause and think about, so they remember who I am.
Any examples of those questions so that I could take that into account and write it down?
Yeah, absolutely. So I found one question that works great for me is, from the past people that you've hired, the best performing employee from the past people you've hired, what is your favorite quality about them?
Wow.
So they are a hiring manager. They've hired a bunch of people. Their favorite or top performing person, what's their favorite quality about them? And when they answer that question, you want to integrate that quality and relate it to yourself. So it makes them think.
Yeah, wonderful. So we finished with the first part. Let's go to the second part where I ask you 8 questions and you have to answer yes or no. If you want, you can elaborate on that, on your answer, right? All right, the first question, have you ever worked on a project that required solving complex mathematical equations?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. Do you believe that 3D printing will revolutionize the manufacturing industry?
100%. Construction, mechanical, all of that. Yes.
Have you encountered challenges in managing project deadlines?
Yeah, every day.
Do you think that renewable energy technologies are crucial for the future of mechanical engineering?
Renew. No.
No. Have you ever used computer simulations to test prototypes before physical production?
Yes, and they don't turn out the same.
Is teamwork an essential aspect of your work as a mechanical engineering? As a mechanical engineer?
Yes, absolutely.
Have you ever had to adapt your designs based on feedback from users?
Yes,
Are you happy with your choice to pursue mechanical engineering?
absolutely, 100%. Even though I can't find a job, I still love it.
Wonderful. Yeah. So we finished with this one and we are moving to the third part of our interview. So can you please share a story about a project where you had to think completely outside of the box to find a solution?
A project where I had to think completely out of the box. I had a project when I was in second or third year in university. Our goal was to make, I was in a team of 4 or 5. We were trying to make a car that has no wheels and no tires. So you're trying to make a vehicle that propels itself and moves forward. You obviously cannot make it fly, but you cannot have any tires. So no round objects. This is quite the definition of reinventing the wheel because you had to make like certain shapes. We tried squares, cubes, triangles, and then finally we came up with something that looks like a turbine, but it's cut in half. I don't even know how to explain it to you, but this was a crazy challenge because you have to make a car without wheels and you have to make it work properly. A cube doesn't work properly. A
No.
triangle doesn't work properly. That was a really difficult one. It took us 3, 4 months and we got through it.
You went through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So the next question, was the strangest or most unique prototype that you've ever worked on, and what was its purpose?
My final year in university, I got a very interesting project that is, we have something called a capstone. The capstone is your final engineering project. You take 1 full year to do that project. And based on that, you get your engineering degree, basically. It's a huge course. The project that I got is not very mechanical. Well, it's half mechanical, but it's also biomedical. It's working with dead cadavers and trying to implement into like literally a dead body and try to move their human hands to replicate how a real human hand would move so that they can put it in a car and crash test the car. When the car crash tests, they want to test the skin and see what happened to the person's arm. But they can't do that with a real human, so they use the dead bodies for that. My job was to create a system to make the hand grip because the dead body cannot grip the thing. Very difficult project. We used systems from pulleys, pneumatics, explored a bunch of gears and stuff. I think it took us a while to even come up with an idea. We had to study all the tendons, how to separate the forces on each tendon on each finger, how much forces this finger have, how much forces this finger have. It was a complicated project. It was super fun. We got through it. We made a pulley system. You just tied it in with a torque wrench, digital, so you know exactly how much forces you're putting in. It grips, it works. Yeah.
Wonderful. Really, you made me really interested, honestly. Yeah. So did it work out?
It did work, yes.
Yeah. So what was the professor impressed by your project?
The professor was impressed. At the beginning, they were kind of having second thoughts because you put a bunch of mechanical engineer with no biological background into this project. And then they saw our first ideas. They're like, this is not going to work. But then a bunch of fails later, we failed a bunch of times. Most of our ideas were really bad, honestly. By the seventh idea, I think we came up with something that's very simple and it works.
Wow. Great. Yeah. So the next question, what advice would you give to someone who wants to bring a groundbreaking idea to life, but doesn't know where to start?
If they want to bring a groundbreaking idea to life, honestly, I gotta tell you that everybody's gonna doubt you. If it's a groundbreaking idea, everyone's gonna be against you. Everyone's gonna tell you it's not gonna work. But that's the time where you double down, you keep working, start anywhere. Start by a sketch, start by a 3D model, start by a 3D printer if you have one. Literally put it on paper. Just every day, literally write down everything you know about that idea, the qualities of it, what color is it going to be, what material is it made out of. And most of the things you put on at the beginning, everything will be changed. You need to start, and day after day will improve. You might define every single measurement on day one. By day 30, every single measurement, I promise you, will change and it will not work. But a year in, that groundbreaking idea might be the next Tesla.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, wonderful. So another question. Do you think that mechanical engineering is the most important engineering of all kinds? And if yes, why?
I don't think mechanical engineering is the most important of all kinds. I think all the engineering disciplines work together to make the society we would live in. If you have just a mechanical engineer, this world will not function. If you have just an electrical, this world will not function. It's all the disciplines of engineering coming together to create sort of like literally the Avengers that's running this world and making all these mechanisms. One discipline of engineering cannot be the most important by itself.
Wonderful. Thank you. And another question. Let's say a person wants to study mechanical engineering in his bachelor's and he wants to pursue nanotechnology in his master's. And is it possible to change the disciplines, or is it the same discipline, like to study the next in master's nanotechnology?
It's a bit of a change, but the nice thing about mechanical engineering is it's very distinct. There are 8 subfields in mechanical. You can go to heating and cooling systems, you can go to biomedical mechanical engineering, you can go to material science, you can go to design. It's so distinct, and there are so many pathways you can take after getting into mechanical. You make the first step, you go into mechanical, and after that, you are a problem solver. So the path you choose is completely up to you. Not like, for example, computer science or software engineering, you are just stuck to coding and programming and stuff like that. I'm sure there are several paths, but mechanical is known to be the most broad path for people that want to explore in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you. And the last question, what advice can you give to future aspiring mechanical engineers?
The advice I would give to future aspiring engineers: do what you love, make sure you follow it, not for the money, not for getting a job fast. None of that is true. Do it because you love it and you will succeed. Think outside the box, be creative, be unconventional. The most successful people in the world are the ones that don't follow the norm. They don't follow the book, okay? Make sure you're applying the safety standards on all of that, but outside of that, be creative, do whatever you want, try to prosecute all your ideas. And from that, you're going to get a lot of lashback, but that's what's going to lead you to be the most successful, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Abood. We've ended our interview. That was a wonderful interview, honestly. I'm regretting that I didn't prepare more questions to ask. Thank you. That was really wonderful. And can you please, for the end, like shake your, hold your hand like this so that I can take a screenshot?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Thank you very much. Honestly, I'm really happy. Just I want to wish you luck for your future success and for your future career, and hope that you're gonna succeed in the future. Hope I want to collaborate even more with you. So I want to tell a bit more about what I'm doing. So I'm gonna finish the recording.